Welcome to the Turf Wars News Network. I am your host for Nope, okay, this is not being done seriously whatsoever. Here we are, 4 seasons in, finally deciding to do the YouTube channel. And standing in for the first week, it's none other than me, the one person you all love to hate if you were in Season 1. It's YOLO. That's right, the letting me talk of all times. I'm not on my own, I'm joined by Panda, and we are going to be bringing you the Summer Phase Power Rankings. Well, I am for week 1, who knows what the rest of it is. So, without further ado, we are going to start the Summer Season Phase 1 Power Rankings. Let's hope this actually works.
And thank you, YOLO, for the introduction. And now I guess I should introduce myself as well. I am your not-so-friendly neighborhood panda, here to give you the other half of this week's power rankings. And before we kick these off, I would like to mention that we don't actually have 10 people for this week's power rankings. Only 9 people actually qualified. So we're going to start off with number 9 instead of number 10. And coming in at number 9, we have Audio 2 Soul, the leader or admin or whatever you want to call it in this backwards ass hierarchy we have in this godforsaken team known as Team Flare. Whatever his position, he has proven to be worthy of the PR this week with a score of 800, which is not too shabby if I say so myself. He has 2 wins and 1 loss this week, all of which were versus Magma. He fought 2 grunt battles, 1 admin battle, but no leader battles, which I suppose proves once and for all that he's not fit to be leader. And while he didn't have any super spectacular outstanding plays this week, he kind of just played pretty solid all around, you know. Nothing crazy happened, but he didn't make any massive blunders. He kind of just played overall quite well, securing some decent wins, and while he did lose one, he didn't lose by a massive margin either.
Coming in at number 8 this week, we have the only representative of Team Magma, so there is absolutely no bias involved whatsoever in what I'm about to say. We have Region, with a total score of 914. Now, I would have expected Region to be seen higher up on this list, and again there's no bias there, it's just because he's had the most battles so far this season. He's had a total of 7. And they've been seen across every single tier. We've seen 2 grunt matches, 3 admin matches and 2 leader matches, currently holding a 4-3 win-loss ratio. His battle of the week has got to be the one against A. Kelly. Did start off a little bit badly for him, Mr. Crabhammer, Kelly got a scald burn, but flipped it round, got a bit further on, in came the bounce Gyarados, and it was just over, but great battling from both of them.
And coming in at number 7 this week, we have Mr. Ghost Lotus MD of Team Rocket, our first representative of Team Rocket on this list, and certainly not our last this week. He comes in with a score of 1067, an odd number, but certainly a good one. And with 2 wins, 1 loss, he's looking pretty alright. He had 2 wins versus Aqua, 1 an admin, 1 a grunt, showing that maybe Aqua has a bit of a ghost weakness. And his 1 loss was versus Vengeance of Team Flare in a leader battle. And looking at his battles, they were all fairly close. None of them were runaway victories, with the exception of maybe just 1. In his battle versus Cat, for the longest time it was looking like he'd get the clean 6-0 sweep. He was very much in control, deciding the tempo of the match, playing very well overall. But he had to sacrifice a few mons in order to secure the victory, which is understandable. Winning is better than potentially losing it for the sake of 6-0. But overall, still a very, very good performance by Ghost.
Sitting at number 6 this week is Cat, representing Team Aqua. Total score 1200. Now, Cat's had 3 battles so far, 2 admin, 1 grunt. and they all seem to have had some form of rule of 3. He's won both 3-0, but lost 3-0 against Ghost Lotus. It's just something somebody pointed out to me, which was a bit odd. Best battle he had this week was against Ice. There were a good couple of moments. There was the subset setup Gyarados that survived due to a Stone Edge miss, giving it the advantage of taking out a Swampert, which probably was a key point. There was a Sleep Powder miss from a Roserade, giving his Crobat a couple of kills, but it ended up going down to a Salamence with Moxie, Click Outrage to win. All in all, good week.
And instead of having a 5th place, we'll go right to the 4th place, as we actually have a tie for 4th place between 2 members, one of them being Altosh of Team Rocket. Altosh comes out this week with a score of 1,333 with 2 wins and 1 loss. Both his wins were against Magma, a 5-0 and a 2-0. In fact, both were against the same member, and he had 1 loss against Aqua. All of his matches were in Grunt format. The one thing that you'll notice when you watch his replays is that he uses some less common Mons. Mons we don't normally see. The main ones being Cacturne, Armaldo, and my personal favorite Vileplume, which was actually the MVP in one of his matches versus Atrocitus. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, by the way, where he had a very nice Vileplume sweep.
Sitting at number 4, we have A. Kelly of Team Rocket. Total score this week of 1333. No surprise to see A. Kelly this high up. One of the best battlers Turf has got at the moment. Holding 3 battles in the admin tier, 2-1 win-loss record, all of them being against Fleur. His best battle of the week has got to be the one against Glory 2. It was a pretty simple battle for him, no offence to your Glory, but it was pretty standard. Couple of useful moments. He had the Beedrill, got a couple of revenge kills. He did lose the Mamoswine in the double suicide, but it was the Lucario that did it. Glory set up the Lucario with a Swords Dance. Went for a close combat on a Donphan. The Donphan survived it, and it was just game over from then on, because all he had left was the Alakazam, Mega Beedrill, U-turn kill, game over, done. But to both of them, good battle, but great week for A. Kelly there.
And in 3rd place, we have none other than Mr. Vengeance 417 of Team Flare. Vengeance comes out this week with a score of 1,467. He fought 3 battles, all of which he won, making him the only member in Turf Wars right now on the power ranking with a 100% win rate. He fought 2 matches versus Rocket, both of which were fairly close, a 2-1 victory and a 2-0 victory, and 1 match against Magma, which was not as close in the form of a 4-0 victory. One thing to note about him is that he played very consistently, and the entire time he seemed like he was a few steps ahead. He put a clear amount of effort into his teams, as he seemed to have an answer for pretty much everything the opponents could throw at him. And he didn't really make many errors, he just played very well. So if you're wondering why he's not higher in the PR, it would actually be because he only fought 3 battles, and they weren't all won by a significant margin, which those are taken into account as well.
And we are getting close to the end of this week. Now coming in at number 2 sits Lysandra, leader of Team Fleur, holding a score of 1800. Now Lysandra's had an even spread of battles in all tiers for the most part, currently sitting with a 3-to-1 win-loss ratio. Now she's had 2 decent battles this week, one against Davos, which did have its moments where it did seem like it was pretty simple once it got down to the sub-Carmine Meloetta. There was a couple of attacks is in there, but it's still a good battle to watch. But the only loss she does have is against Mega Wormbull, and that is definitely battle of the entire phase. Absolutely unbelievable. Comes down to a speed tie, so it is unfair really on her part. But all in all, she's had an absolutely fantastic week.
And finally, let's all give a big round of applause for the number one in the PR this week, Mega Wormbull. Mega Wormbull came out this week with a score of 2,000 points. He had 4 wins and 1 loss, giving him a win rate of 80%. His wins were, for the most part, fairly one-sided, with 2 5-0s and a 4-0. He also only had a 1-0 against Liz in a leader battle, which was a very close match, and a 2-0 loss against Panta. He fought in a bunch of tiers this week. He fought 3 in RU, 1 in UU, and 1 in OU. He had a variety of teams made, he didn't recycle any teams, a fresh team for each battle, showing that he put a significant amount of work into each battle. He didn't just throw one team together and called it a day, as some people would. So overall, he kind of just played really well, was very prepared, didn't make too many big mistakes, and it was very clear that he earned number 1 in the PR for the first week. And that will be all for your Week 1 Turf Wars Power Ranking video. Thanks to YOLO for helping me out with this. And before we go, I have a few things I'd like to go over. The first is make sure to save every single replay. I know we ran into some trouble calculating the power rankings because some of the replays weren't saved from Week 1, so we kind of had to find the info on our own. Second of all, this is actually my first video project this big. I'm still kind of new to video editing, and I know very well there are some issues with it, so if anybody has any tips, pointers, or just saw something during the video they'd like to point out, please let me know so I can improve it for future projects. Thank you, and have a good day.